Well, hi guys. I'm just getting back from the grocery store. I started our hurricane preparedness shopping, and oh my goodness, every year it's a it's a big concern here on the Cayman Islands. Of course, everywhere in the Caribbean takes a lot of precautions because we're very vulnerable here, and the Cayman Islands in particular is very close to sea level. Grand Cayman in particular, it has, I think, like 5 or 6 feet is the highest point on land here. So we're really susceptible to storm surge and wind, of course. So everyone takes us quite seriously. And I joined the Red Cross a couple of weeks ago, and we've already had one meeting on hurricane preparedness and, of course, signing up and so on. And they're saying it's going to be 2024 is going to be a very active season. So we're taking it very seriously as well. Last year, when we were in an apartment, we had this really big yellow and black container, and we thought we were fairly prepared. We filled that up, and we had fuel for our barbecue. We had lots of water. They're saying 1 gallon per person per day. And things are a little different now that we're on a boat, because we can't just shelter in place like we could when we were in the apartment. We're going to have to leave the boat if it's a named storm, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But this time we have to be prepared to actually leave the boat. So mobility of our hurricane kit is another concern. When we packed up our container last year, that thing was so heavy, I probably couldn't lift it if I had to evacuate without Chris. Say he was at work and we're going to meet somewhere at the shelter. I couldn't, I wouldn't be able to get that thing in the car and drive it to where we had to go. So we have to rethink our plan. I'm thinking maybe a suitcase. It's got wheels. I can drag it. It's portable. Maybe a couple of backpacks, spread it out in between the two of us with backpacks. I'm not really sure. I'm certainly open to ideas. Anyway, I thought I would just show you what I've got so far for our kit. Well, hello again. I just getting back from the grocery store, and I've got a few things more for our hurricane kit that I want to show you. Grocery store was super busy today. It's a holiday and it's raining, which is not a good combination, as you know. But let's dive in and I'll show you what I have. Well, here we are. It's June 29th, Saturday, last weekend of June. And we've been watching our favorite weather channel on YouTube. Shout out to Mr. Weatherman. If you're down in the Caribbean or anywhere along the Atlantic coast, you're probably following him. Anyway, we know from a number of different sources that there is a hurricane on the way to the Cayman Islands. It's still a ways out. They don't expect landfall here until towards the end of next week, Thursday of next week maybe. This is Saturday. It's supposed to hit Barbados on Monday, and I guess anything could happen. It could turn north. It could just keep coming to the west. We don't really know. And so we're now putting our plan in place. What plan, you ask? Well, that's a good question. Do we have a plan? As you know, I've been working on this hurricane kit. So we have a lot of things in place. So now we're just trying to think what we should be doing to prepare the boat to be hauled out. We heard from the yacht club down the way who will haul us out. We don't have haul out services here at the Cayman Islands Yacht Club. Not for a boat of this size anyway. There's a boat ramp where if you can trailer your boat, you can get your boat out of the water for sure. But something this size would need to go to a special marina. Anyway, they're starting to haul out their boats on Tuesday. So we will be ready to motor down there that day, or maybe on Wednesday. I'm not sure when we would go. So the question is, what do we need to do before then? So I know we have some caulking to do upstairs on the fly bridge. We are going to have to pump out the waste tank. Chris wants to also get rid of the water that's in the water tank. I guess there's nothing we can do with the fuel. There's so much fuel in the tanks anyways that we might as well motor to South America or something. There's so much fuel on board. Anyway, and then we just have to get the boat ready for transport and for storage on land. So we have to make sure we don't leave anything on the boat that we're going to want, because we've been told we can't access the boat once it's been hauled out of the water. And then we're just going to slowly, I think, take it over to my friend Megan's house. She's graciously invited us to stay there during these kinds of events, and obviously we will be helping her to secure her place. I think she's getting sandbags and stuff like that, but she doesn't live on a boat. She lives in a condo, and so it's a different type of preparation. Yeah, so we're just kind of making lists of to-do things, and anyway, so hopefully it turns north, but today is just a batten down the hatches, make plans, start putting the preparedness plan in place, and start taking things over to Megan's house maybe. And hopefully it's all for nothing and we have to drag it all back here, and we actually won't be bothered too much by Hurricane Beryl. But that's what we're looking at. Okay, I'll make an update a little bit later. The next day, I helped Megan fill 15 sandbags, and we took them back to her place and lined them up in front of her door. It was also at Megan's place where I discovered this innovative way to protect your patio furniture by submerging it into the pool. I thought this was actually a brilliant idea, and I've never seen it before, but obviously it would keep them from blowing away. As the hurricane approached, people began making additional preparations, and one of the ways to protect your vehicle is to get it up onto higher ground, and this overpass is an example of how folks are doing that. We also started seeing lineups around town as people waited to get in and do their last-minute shopping. It was definitely time for us to leave the marina, and one of the main things we had to do in order to leave was to deal with our dinghy. We typically have it here at the end of the dock, but we knew that we had to lift it up onto the boat, and we decided to do this in the evening when there was very little light. Anyway, we got it done, and this is a little sped up video that I think is kind of cool. I also wanted to take care of these plants on the dock, so we put them in our trolley and we wheeled them over to the bushes where they were safe and sound. By now we were starting to see a lot of empty slips, and it was time for us to head out as well. Here you'll see a couple of boats that are anchored just on the leeward side of the mangroves, where they'll get a lot of protection from the wind. By the looks of the North Sound, you'd never know there was a storm coming. It was beautiful out there. They weren't quite ready to haul us out at the Georgetown Yacht Club, so we took this opportunity to just make final preparations. Here you'll see we're taking down the canvas, and we'll eventually take down all that structure as well and tape up just about everything we could. I don't know. We might have overdone it here. I'm not really sure. As first-time boat owners, we didn't want to, leave anything to chance. The next morning, we were one of the first boats to be hauled out. Finally, she was safely tucked in at the back, along with the other 35 boats, and there was nothing left to do, really, except to wait for the hurricane. This is what it looked like from Megan's back patio. I think we got off easily this time, to be honest. The hurricane kind of took a dip to the south, and it was kind of a glancing blow. But her place is also inland a bit, and you can see here what a struggle it was for the trees closer to the coast. A few hours later, we got the all clear, so we headed out to explore a little bit. Here you'll see the local beach, and the effects of the hurricane are still being felt. The next day, our boat was put into the water again, and we motored back to our home marina. We are so thankful that there was no damage to the boat this time around. We certainly learned a lot, and we feel much better prepared for the next one.